I'm Margot Browd. I'm a Dutch artist living in Newcastle in Australia. Let me tell you about this painting I've been working on, The Forest. I started this painting the other way around. Before it actually became trees, it was actually, it started with a feeling. And the feeling had a sentence that I wanted to bring out into the open. And the sentence is, I feel so tainted. And feeling tainted for me came from the coverings we have over ourselves, of what we've learned to expect from life in regard to how worthy we feel or whatever, but also feeling tainted by being part of humanity and feeling tainted by some of the violence perpetrated by members of the sister and brotherhood, so to speak. And so, yes, I felt tainted by that and I wanted to put that into a painting. So I did that with my usual line work. And then I realised I needed to do something more with it to move that feeling. So I turned it upside down and I realised I could make it into the branch structure of trees, of a copse. And I do like painting a copse. It's very satisfying. So I started that in quite dark colours, and it's in purples and oranges and some yellow and some indigo. And the sentence is still there to see, not immediately noticeable for someone else maybe. And then as I was moving through it, I did a post on Instagram about it, and the comment I made there about it was painting the darkness of the forest as the subconscious becomes conscious in reaching the clearing. The sun goes down on a day of inner work, and so now it is time to rest, like the twittering birds as they find their tree for the night. And so the first thing for the unconscious to become conscious is to bring it out into the world, to speak it or to write it, but then to keep moving it, because we don't just want to sit with what we've become aware of. We want to keep working with it so it can become something else. So I did that, and what I always like to do is to put opposite colours on the background colours. So I brought some green and yellow to the purple trunks of the trees, and I also liked to keep the line work, and so it's, and in doing that it sort of moved through the seasons. I suppose it moved through winter and also then a bit of autumn, maybe going backwards in that, but yeah, it looks like different seasons but not meant as seasons. It's just the layering on of colour and allowing the back to shine through, because what was in the unconscious that is now conscious, it's never completely in the consciousness. The light of the unconscious always shines through the depth of that, and so I'd like to represent that in my painting as well, and how I use colour. So these are the different stages I went through, and I knew that in the end I would end up with a sky of blue, a light blue sky, to bring more light into the painting, and to then also accentuate the shadows on the trees as well. And this painting with the little sort of squares or dots, whatever you like to call them, they're not quite dots, but they're done with a brush that's square up the top. And I started doing that in watercolour when I had big areas to cover, because it's actually quite hard to get an even colour with watercolour on a very big background. So I decided to do a mosaic of these sort of rectangular or square shapes instead. And I find that with acrylic, this is acrylic, or with oil, that it works in a way that you can sort of mix colours, but not in a very smooth way. It sort of has what I like about it, it has a dynamism about it. It's sort of alive, especially with the colour coming through from the background. So yeah, I started lightening the bark of the trees as well and bringing more shadow into it. And then eventually I made the foliage green as it is now, and also the shade of the trees from the light that come on the other side of it. So you can still see the orange coming through, and that can either be fruit or it can just be the depth of what's underneath, or both. And so this is my process, the layering of colour and allowing the colour in the background to come through. And it's a bit like with human beings, that we're forever living what we can, but our past is always in that. Even though we work to uncover ourselves, there's always more in the unconscious that we have from our past, or that we share with other people or with our culture. You know, a culture has an unconsciousness as well that we can bring into the light, but there's always more in the unconscious to bring to the light. It's a constant commitment to keeping on doing that. It's never going to be finished. The sun's never going to just stay in the sky. There will always be night before it becomes day again. So that's my little story about this painting, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and it is for sale.